and decluttering what's your ultimate goal you want to achieve. How do you decide if something is worth keeping or not? If you have limited space, how do you compensate? Have you ever, in the middle of any decluttering space, just give up? I mean, like, stuff it all back and walk away. All right, glasses. It's time for the laundry. If it's a repeat question, I'm still going to answer it, because I know not everybody can watch every video. I'm happy that you watch any videos. So I don't want you to feel like you can't ask something that's not been asked before and then feel bad that you didn't see that video. And even if you did see every single video of mine, you're not going to remember every question I answered. That's crazy. Get this up here. Ugh. When you see me with towels, you should know that my daughter does this for me, so I'm not folding the upstairs towels, which actually is a lot of this. We must have had a load of towels. So Sarah asks, how do you decide if something is worth keeping or not? If you have limited space, how do you compensate? I love those questions because I feel like that's what we all grapple with is, should I keep it or not? And I think the answer to that, don't you think, is different for every single person? I would say that I have heard people say to let your space determine how much you're able to keep. And that's not a bad system. It's like, I have this container, this shelf, this closet, and this is where I have to keep extra things that I don't use all the time. How much space do I actually have? And it seems really harsh, but if you think about it, isn't that the exact same thing of deciding if you can afford to purchase something, right? You might have something that you need, something you want. Like, honestly, I could use some towels. I got some frayed towels. And I have to decide, can I afford to buy these towels yet or not? So it's not a matter of whether I can keep them, it's a matter of whether I can afford them. And so we make those types of choices every day. So if you are limiting yourself by the container, then it's about saying, okay, here's all the things I own now. What are my favorite things? And starting there and putting them in that storage area. And when it's full, it's full. And I think with kids, I know that's a hard decision for them, especially. Let's say you had a toy box or a toy container. Is, okay, this is your container, and so what do you want to keep? And when this is full, that's all, you're going to have to get rid of the rest. Honestly, it's how life works. But if you really are having a hard time, and if you have the room to do it, what I might suggest is to put things that you might like to get rid of in a container like a Rubbermaid, and then pack it away and put the date on it. Put the date when you packed it. See how long you go before you go to that box. Now, of course, the mementos and things from family members that have been passed down from generation to generation, you're not going to be opening that box probably. You do have to decide, if you're going to keep that stuff. I'm kind of at a point where I could wait until I'm gone and I could have a will, or just let the kids decide who wants what. Or I could go ahead and do that now. And you're going to see when I do my sentimental video, decluttering video, that I've decided to go ahead and do that now. So I think it's about real estate. If you have a limited house, the house I lived in before this house with 3 kids and my husband and I was 750 square feet. We did not have much room. The more room you have, the more room you fill. And I've heard from a lot of ladies here on this channel in the comment section that say, hey, we downsized and we can't keep much now, and it's the best thing we ever did. So hopefully that was helpful to you. But follow-up questions are always welcome. You can go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Amila Smith wants to know, how is Yvonne's job going? It's a little bit hard because it's a distance from us for our part. Although she, I think, has all her practice hours in. We need to count up her driving practice hours. I think she's ready to send in to take her driving test. And so if she gets her license, she's been practicing driving to and from work so that when she has her license, she can do the driving. But she absolutely loves her job. And we said she could only work weekends during the school year, and then she can work more in the summer. Honestly, I think she would probably go in every day if she could. She loves it. Carolyn O'Quinn asks, how are you guys going to handle having several kids in college at the same time? We've done that before. We've had 2 in college at the same time. So this is what we did. We sat down and we looked at what we are making now. We decided on an amount that we could help them, every kid. And we said, this is how much we're going to help you every school year. The rest is up to you. So whether they take out loans, whether they go to a local school, however they handle that, whether they work while they're going to school, whether they go slower. So what we had to do was to come up with a figure that we felt like we could handle, and we've told them, this is how much you're going to get. Now, of course, things could happen, and it's just like when my firstborn went to college, we were in a really good position to help him. And we told her, we had 3 kids at the time, and we told the other 2, hey, this is his story. It might not be your story, and we can't promise to be even. We can't promise to do things equally. We don't know what your story is. And honestly, that's just reality, but we do have a figure that we've given them that they can pretty much rely on if nothing changes. Brenda Montagne. I don't think I pronounced your name right, Brenda, and I love you so much. How long could you go without grocery shopping and still have most of what you need? Are any of the more common food shortages affecting you? Okay, so grocery shopping, not long. I'm going to be honest. Like a week. I mean, if we really were like eating down every single thing and we were in dire straits, I could probably go about 2.5 weeks of just suck it up and eat it kind of food or meals. But in general, we're definitely shopping weekly, and we might go midweek to pick up something that we need. I will say now that it's all daughters that are home, we are not going through nearly the amount of food, and we need to back up on some of the perishables because they're rotting quickly. Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to be folding laundry. And our shortage is affecting you. The shortage thing is touch and go. Some days or some weeks, we're getting every single thing we want, but most of the time, there's some sort of, whether it be a brand we would prefer, or whether it be just, I don't know. Yeah, we're definitely affected by the typical shortages. I haven't noticed that we haven't been able to get pasta lately. However, I would say that we don't eat a lot of pasta right now, so that could be part of it. There's times we can't get the kind of rice that we want. We've had people south of us, like half an hour to an hour south of us, we're having terrible meat shortages. And we're in Maine too, and we were not having those shortages. So it's very hit and miss. And if you have the time, I've noticed that if we don't have it at our grocery store, there might be it at another grocery store. I also saw the tip that, I don't know if this will work where you're at, if you can't find what you want consistently in the bigger stores, go ahead and try the little mom and pop grocery stores, because they get shipments in more frequently because they don't have the storage room. And so they actually might do better with some of the things that you're looking for. But we have definitely had those things that we either can't get, and then, obviously when that comes around again, we're going to buy a little bit extra just in case, and then try to keep an extra one around. And we definitely are struggling with fuel costs. My daughter goes to school 45 minutes one way, so the fuel cost is a big thing. And also, if we want to travel, or if we're bringing family home, like my college son, flying him home, flights are very expensive right now. So yes, we are definitely dealing with fuel costs. And yes, when I'm doing my budget, that is a separate budget item. She says, maybe this is actually a budgeting question, but I have a very deep pantry of basics. Alternative ways to add to it: livestock garden, milkman. So I'm one step removed from the weekly shopping pressure. Good for you. And I've discovered that the alternative cleaning, possibly radical, so I don't buy many cleaning supplies, and it turns out I have very little decor or fashion styles, so I don't need much there, haha. Basically, in case this question is totally confusing, I'm thinking about shortages that might affect you and about things you want or need that have dramatically increased in cost. Honestly, if there is a cheese scarcity ever, life as we know it will cease to be fun, but that's probably just me. Yeah, groceries are costing a lot more, so we're having to think more over decisions that we make. It's one of the reasons I like ordering my groceries online, is you can kind of keep a tab of how you're doing, and then you can delete things that aren't absolutely necessary once you rise out of your budget. So we are definitely feeling it too. And like with the cleaners I just showed you guys, that's not a necessity. I could use vinegar. I have a couple of Norwex cloths. You know, there's lots of things that you can do that are much less expensive than buying cleaners. And also, I know some of you have a hard time with scents, and so it would help you as well not to be buying expensive cleaners. Michelle Omer asks, what made you decide to start decluttering? Do you regret anything you've gotten rid of? Did you used to shop more than you do now? What habits have changed the most since beginning your channel? Has the mood or how the family functions changed in what way compared to before you began decluttering? So what made me decide to declutter is the idea that I don't want my kids to have to go through all of this junk if we're gone. That's number one. And number two is, I know eventually we would like to move out of this house and move to a place that would have less storage because it would be more in town. So I'm not gonna, even the stuff I have now, part of the reason I want it boxed and labeled is if we were to get to go to our dream place, then we might have to just be ditching those things, and how much easier it will be if it's all labeled. For example, crafts, maybe the whole box would go, that sort of thing. But I'm still decluttering. I'm definitely not done in the basement, and we're gonna have to start having my husband bringing stuff up for me to go through and filming the after down there for you and for me, because I won't know what it looks like. I think shopping wise, I think harder about what I bring in, and I think harder about if I bring something in, is there now something I could push out? Is it replacing something? So that definitely factors in. I didn't necessarily used to shop more before. Maybe I'm shopping more wisely. Maybe I'm not buying something just because it's on sale or it's a good deal. I'm being more selective, but I've never had a ton of money for a lot of shopping, which is really why I don't have a ton of clothes. It's really because I'm not going to spend all that money on clothes. Like when I see and I'm not judging anybody. If I had it, I probably would do it too. I'm supposed to be folding. But when I see the declutter videos where somebody has the walk-in closets, and I mean the big ones, and the purses and the shoes, it's not that I'm like, oh, I would never do that. I think, I don't understand how you can get to that place in your life. And I know that some of these channels, the people are extremely frugal. It's not that they're spending tons of money. I mean, they're doing it frugally, but I just honestly, I don't honestly understand how they get to do that, how that lifestyle happens, where the money comes from, how you were able to afford a house with closets that big. It's just where I am, you know? It's just a different place where I am than they are, so it's hard to understand. And as far as my family, I don't really think they have changed. And I think my husband's more understanding of the things that I want to get rid of now. Okay, Debbie asks, along with your faith, what are ways you stay strong when things are tough, like ongoing health issues? Are there certain Bible verses you find comfort when things are not looking positive? You're such a positive, caring person. Your encouragement to others. In decluttering, what's your ultimate goal you want to achieve? I remember you have said you don't want to be a minimalist, so It has to be more organized with, is it to be more organized with the things that you have? What keeps me staying strong? So my faith is definitely a big part of staying strong. I would say that you guys are part of that equation of staying strong, because I really want to continue YouTube, and I'm encouraged by the time that you and I spend together. Then there's friends that check in on me. That means the world to me. And then my family who helps me, keeps me company. That helps me to stay strong. I would say finding beauty in simple things and finding enjoyment in simple things. I remember when my discs in my back, when I herniated my discs in my back, I was in, honestly, the knee has it's nowhere near how bad the back was. That was really the worst physical thing I've ever been through in my life. And I was leaving the house. I was on pain medication, but it wasn't doing anything. And I was leaving the house to go get an MRI with my husband, and I looked to the right, and I saw beautiful standing phlox that were in my garden in full bloom of bright white. And I thought, man, I could almost cry saying it. I just was like, wow, God put that there just for me, because He knew I needed to see something beautiful. And so I think when you're going through really hard times, it helps you to notice the simple, small pleasures that you might have. Another thing that's really helped me with my knee is noticing others who are going through either difficult times as well, or times that are more difficult than what I'm going through. I think, you could have a broken leg and be in a cast and have to use crutches and not be, have a hard time taking a shower. Not that showers are easy for me right now, they're not, but I know it could be a lot worse. And I'll see on Facebook, on YouTube with you guys, just things that you're struggling with too. And then I know I'm not the only one. There's definitely moments where I really feel sorry for myself and I'm really very frustrated. Those aren't the parts I want to film, honestly, because I want to be a light for you. If I'm going through a tough time, first of all, I tend to process privately. I tend to process inside. And then when I feel okay, then I kind of move outside. If I'm going through a tough time and I get to hang out with a friend, it's not that I don't share my struggles with them, but I don't want to spend my whole day talking about that and then I'm sad. I'd rather be happy and focus on happy thoughts and have fun with them and then deal with my problems later. And that's just partly who I am and how I cope. Ms. Lady says, hello, I see you have a busy household. Do you ever do pre-made meals such as make casseroles ahead of time and freeze them? I used to make casseroles, burgers, meatloaf, freeze them for days where either I was short on money or just a quick dinner to have on hand. Love your enthusiasm. Take care. I have done this in the past, but it has been a hot minute, let me tell you, since I have put up a freezer meal. It's something I would really like to get back to. Supper every night does get tiring. Cooking, having the time to cook, knowing what you want to cook, and dietary issues being different for different people, it would certainly help me. So I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Sammy or Simi? Simi. I'm sorry. Taylor. I'm going to put your name up here. Would you say it's easy getting rid of things and decluttering, whether it be clothing, footwear, etc.? If you liked an item of clothing but didn't need it, would you buy it? When you declutter, do you feel moitered by the amount you are seeing and how much this is there? Love your decluttering videos, by the way. That's a great question. I think need is a strong word anyway, because if I were to tell you I need 3 pairs of pants, somebody else would say, how could you, what? How could you live on 3 pairs of pants? You need at least 7 pairs of pants. Like, what we think we need is different from person to person. So if I were to tell you what I think I need, it will be different from what you think you need. A lot depends on how often you can do laundry. There's just a lot of factors in there. So just having said that, oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll go out because I need a shirt or need shirts for summer, right? But that doesn't mean I'm not buying more than I need, because how many do I really need? If I were to talk about need, I bet you I could get by on 2. In the old days, people had 1 work smock or work a women work dress and one fancy dress for Sunday, right? But you know, two things, when one's in the laundry, you could be wearing the other one. I will say this, when you don't have very many clothes, and I know this from experience, your clothes wear out a heck of a lot faster. So I do tend to find myself buying more shirts than I used to. So no, I don't just buy what I need, because if I did, I'd probably only have 2 shirts. Also, sometimes, you know, if you have a hard body to fit, then if you find something, you better buy it, because you might not find it again when you need it, right? And yes, when I am decluttering, I absolutely feel moitered by the amount I'm seeing and how much there is. Absolutely. Whenever I'm decluttering, I'm overwhelmed with what I see. And sometimes I'm in denial and I think there's not really anything to declutter. Like when I just did the bedroom video, I mean, I just did my closet. I've done my closet before on the channel, so I honestly didn't think I would have that much to get rid of. But as I declutter more, I'm getting better at getting rid of more, and also stuff accumulates when you're not even paying attention, or maybe I didn't do as good a job last time. M says, have you ever considered adopting a 40-something Australian girl? I hear she loves cats and snow. You know, actually, M, I have been thinking about adopting a 40-something Australian girl. Are you offering to come? Because I might just take you up on that. And then Pam said, Pam Campbell, I'm definitely with M. If you thought about adopting an elderly lady with knee issues. Okay, this is the question, Pam. Which of your knees, or is it both? I think you actually have both knees, because if you had a good right knee and I had a good left knee, we would be a really good pair. I would love it if you guys lived near me. Oh my goodness. Seriously, my question would be, are there ever days you just don't feel like doing anything? To be honest, this is one of them. I'm just tired today. Or if my husband has a day off, that can make me extremely lazy. I just want to hang out. I do wonder if it's just me who is tired of everyday chores like vacuuming, cleaning, especially cooking. I do a meal planner, but when I ask if there's a meal they'd like, it's, oh, anything. Yeah, that's a lot of help. I am with you on that one. I even have a sheet where you can write down your wishes for supper, because I honestly, if it's planned and the food is in the house, it makes it so much easier for me, because I don't really love cooking anymore either, and part of it's because of the time of day I'm cooking. I'm exhausted by that time. As far as the vacuuming and the cleaning, yeah, there's definitely times or chores I don't like to do, which is usually what I give out to my teenagers. And I would say I love to watch a good cleaning video to get me up and motivated and cleaning. And I am one now, as I've gotten older, if I go out and I come home, I do a quick clean through the house and just get it over with. So I tend to like to clean in the morning. Of course, that's changed right now. I can't do it in the morning. It takes me a long time to kind of pull myself together. So yeah, I can definitely relate. One of these days, I'm gonna get a really nice backdrop for you guys. That's going on my list. But for now, we're just gonna be happy. So this is part 2 of my Q&A. Okay, Regina asks, I love Q&As. Me too. Have you ever, in the middle of any decluttering space, just give up? I mean, like stuff it all back and walk away. And I don't mean go back a few hours or days later. I mean indefinitely. I have, and it has now become my nemesis. No one else is allowed to go near. Yes, I'm sure I have. Definitely. In fact, the sentimental decluttering of my mom's stuff in her box, that went right back in the box. And I'm just thinking now, it might be time to get that stuff out and have my husband bring it up the stairs so that I can like gather all the sentimental stuff and just deal with it. Definitely. And I'm sure there were more in the past that I'm not thinking of. One of the things that's really helped me is putting up videos, because when I start on a space and I start filming, the pressure of trying to get a video up twice a week, or it was a decluttering video every Friday at the time when I was in the basement, I thought, boy, I better get this done or I'm not gonna have a video. So that has really, really helped me a lot. But yes, I've definitely done that. Lisa, who actually is on here as George Washington, says, hello Karen, great video yesterday. Thank you very much. I do have one question. What are the cats like at night? Do they get into cabinets and drawers? Mine does. Laugh out loud. They we're not the type to get into things. I think once one of them got into some trash that my husband had left a bag of trash on the floor, but that's only happened once, and I'm pretty sure that was Woozy. Woozy has a terrible habit of, actually they both do, the whole, get you up at 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and I'm just like over it. So we made a nice little sleeping space down in our basement. It's heated in the winter, it's cooler in the summer, and so they have blankets, beds, the whole thing down there. And I make them sleep down there because they wake me up, because the girls are upstairs and they have a gate at the top of the stairs so the cats can't go in and wake them up. And I would do a gate, well, they would jump the gate, but the fact that their gate's at the top of stairs is the only reason they don't jump that gate. So gates weren't working either, and I need a clear path to the bathroom. So it turned out that they just are going to have to live with sleeping in the basement for now. Kim says, do you think you'll ever downsize? My husband and I are getting ready for that at some moment. It has put a whole new slant on decluttering. Yes, 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 yes. That was one of my motivations. My two motivations were, don't want the kids to go through the stuff when I'm gone. My second motivation is, if we downsize. We were planning to sell our house 3 years ago. It wasn't going well. We weren't finding what we wanted. And so we decided we're just gonna have to stay here, fix this house up, and try again another time. And so I could see us maybe 2-3 years down the road from now, downsizing. And we'd like to be in something that's like an open concept with just bedrooms. And I feel like in about 3 years, we're gonna have a better idea on how many bedrooms we're going to need, because all of the girls will have graduated from high school. So stay tuned, that could definitely happen. We'd like to, and we're constantly looking, but where we would be moving would be more expensive than where we are now. We're in a pretty inexpensive place for Maine, and we would like to be closer to towns. My husband would love to be smack dab in the middle of a city. So that could definitely happen at some point. And we would definitely not have the kind of storage we have now. And so that definitely motivates me to get decluttering. Sharon Wengler says, so I love sales, trying really hard to buy only the things I really need. Are there any shopping habits you're trying to break? I have not stepped into a Target or Michael's in months. That's amazing. Kohl's online with a 40% discount was my downfall last week. Also, do you ever feel that when you talk about decluttering, it annoys some people? One more thing, would love to see another cooking video. The one with Yvonne and your hubby was great. I will definitely put that on the list to get cooking again. Shopping habits I am trying to break. I would say with groceries, I want to be more intentional, that sometimes we're just buying, like, what do we feel like eating tonight kind of stuff, or I'm letting it get out of hand with people just saying, I want this, and we buy it, but we haven't really eaten what was already here. I'd like to get that like more under wraps. I love to buy stickers for my planners. If you didn't catch that from my last video, usually you can get coupons, so that's not too terrible. I guess home decor, because I'm trying to fix up the house, I would have to be careful with going too quickly with that. Yeah, but definitely I would love to get more decor, and I maybe it's the little foxes with me of just a little thing here and a little thing there. When spring comes, I'm going to want to buy annuals, so it's always like trying to figure how much is enough and what's appropriate. So yeah. Molly Postema? I'm so sorry if I get your last names wrong, but Molly asks, do you have any regrets with things you've gotten rid of? Have you had to rebuy things you've gotten rid of and now need? Or has your family been upset about anything you've gotten rid of that they weren't okay with you getting rid of? When I declutter, I feel like I should sell some things and donate if they don't sell. What are your thoughts on that? Thank you. When my older three got older, I was getting rid of homeschool curriculum because I had no idea that 4 more kids were coming my way when that was happening. So I had to rebuy all the homeschool stuff, but I've kind of come to peace with that I'm just going to do my best, and I might actually have to repurchase things, and that's okay. And I think that I have to have that freedom in order to declutter, and feel like, well, if God provided it the first time, He can provide it again. And I do try to donate as much as I can, so I feel like I'm letting someone else use it rather than have it sit in my house for 3 years and then maybe I'll need it again. And I am not good at selling things. I have not had good experiences. I don't make a lot of money when I do it, certainly not enough to make it worthwhile to store the stuff until it sells. I don't live in a good area for yard sales, so I've never done well with the yard sale, even when I've tried to have it at somebody else's house. And then you're hauling it back and forth. Ugh. And one time I sold books back when I was getting rid of the homeschool books, and I sold a box of books, and I was so excited, and the post office lost the books. And all I got was like the cut off top of the box they sent me back. Like, why in the world would you cut the top off of my box? I just don't even understand that. So it's just never gone well for me. And so I don't sell my things. The only time I've sold things is if I bring clothing to a consignment shop and you just, oh, and I did that with the girls' toys too once. And you just bring it all in, they take what they want, and then whatever they didn't want went right to Goodwill, or I think you might have had a choice if you wanted them just keep the whole thing, and then I don't know, maybe they sold it anyway. I don't know what they did. One time I did, what's the one I always see? I can't remember. It's a clothing one, and you see a lot of YouTubers doing paid collaborations with them. It's not Stitch Fix, it's a different one, where you can send the clothes in a bag, but they didn't give me anything. And the things they did give me, it was like $2. It was not worth the hassle of doing it. So I know people who do very well selling. I'm not one of them. Stephanie Paulette says, hello, I've been thinking of organizing my kitchen cabinets a bit better. I was wondering if you have a video of some ideas for organizing food. I kind of have a system, but it doesn't look pretty. Been wondering if some baskets or storage containers might help. My fridge is just food piled on top of food without containers to keep it tidy. Any kitchen suggestions would be helpful. Let me be honest. I have containers in my pantry. I don't consider them to be pretty. I'm going to leave a playlist in the description box because I did make a playlist of just the fridge and pantry stuff. My fridge, I have the Lazy Susans. Love those for a fridge. And I also have some containers, but I am also going to leave it in the description box, and I do think that merits another video. So stay tuned. In the next couple weeks, I'm going to try to make a video on this, okay?
You are faithful, faithful through all things. You are faithful, faithful through all things. You are with us, we are not alone. You remind us to
This was so much fun, and I hope you'll tune in tomorrow because I'm actually going to be joining Sunday Dawn in her Tiny Tidy collab, because Tiny Tidies is where it's at for me, where I'm taking small bits of time and seeing what I can get done. So come and join me tomorrow and see what I was able to accomplish. I have a video up here that I think you might like, and then one over here that YouTube is suggesting based on what you have watched in the past. So as always, remember that God loves you and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.